Hey everyone, Mr. W here. Our lesson today is on subtracting mixed numbers with the same denominator with regrouping. So mixed numbers are numbers like 3 and 5/10. That's a mixed number because it has a whole number and a fraction. And the 1 and 8/10 is also a mixed number because it has a whole number and a fraction. Same denominator means when we look at our fractions, the 10 is the denominator, and you can see that they're the same. And regrouping, we'll get to that in a second. So our steps today for subtracting mixed numbers is that we would subtract the fractions first. Sometimes we'll have to borrow, which is the regrouping thing. We'll have to turn the 1 into a whole fraction. I'll show you that in a second. And then you add the fraction and the minuend, and then you subtract, and then subtract your whole numbers. So, and let's look at the models as well. Okay, so 3 and 5/10 minus 1 and 8/10. Let me just show you, if you had models, how you would solve that. So the 3 would be 1, 2, 3 wholes. And then the 5/10 would be here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And these are your 5/10 here. So if we had to take away one whole, it would look like that. And then if we took 8/10, I can see here that this would be 1/10, 2/10, 3, 4, 5, right? 6, 7, 8. I'll see if I can just mark that and put a little X there to symbolize that. So what we would have left would be one whole, which is here. And then this is going to be a fraction because we took those 3 away, right? And this would be equal to 7/10. So we already know that our answer is going to be 1 and 7/10. But let's pretend that you didn't have the model and we just have to do it with our mixed numbers. So our first step is subtract the fractions first. 5/10 minus 8/10 you cannot do because you cannot take 8 from 5. So that's not going to work. So we're going to have to borrow. In this case, we do need to. So just like in regular whole number math, I call it borrowing. When I was a kid, that's how it was taught. It's also called regrouping. So if I took 1 away, one whole from here, I would have 2 left, and then the 1's going to come over here. Notice, though, that this is a whole number, and now it's in the column of fractions. So what we're going to do is we're going to turn this 1 into a whole fraction, which would be 10/10. Remember, a whole fraction is when you have the same numerator and denominator, and we know that we're working with tenths today. So we'll take that, and we're going to add that to the existing 5/10, and that would be 5 plus 10 is 15, and then we have tenths. So now we have 15/10 minus, I'm going to rewrite our 8/10, and 15 minus 8 would be 7, and then we're working with tenths. So that's where we added our whole fraction. That's that step there. And minuend just means the top number, right, of our, when we're doing subtraction. Then we did our subtraction and got 7/10 of our fractions. 2 minus 1, I'm going to write it over here. And your answer would be 1 and 7/10, and we don't need to simplify this. Notice, by the way, that we got the exact same answer with our models. Let's try another problem. 3 and 4/6 minus 1 and 5/6. Here's our model of 1, 2, 3. And then 4/6 is modeled here, 1, 2, 3, 4, and that would be your 4 out of 6. If we took away 1, it would look like that. And then here we have 4/6, but we're taking away 5/6, right? So this would be 1/6, 2/6, 3/6, 4/6. That's gone now, right? And then this would be 5/6, which I'll put an X here. I'm using red and red, okay? So this is one whole. And then we would have a total of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So our answer would be 1 and 5/6. So we already know what our answer is going to be, but I want to show you how to do that problem if we didn't have models. You need to be able to know that as well. So our first step is to subtract our fractions, and right away I see that 4/6, you can't take 5/6 from 4/6, so we're going to have to regroup, or I called it borrowing when I was young. Well, if I have 3, and I take away 1, that gives me 2. That 1 comes over here, but remember 1 is a whole number, and these are fractions. So I need to switch this, and to do that, I'm going to make a whole fraction. Our denominator is 6, so it's going to be 6, 6, right? I'm going to add my fraction of 6, 6. And that's all I did is I just slid that down here. 4 plus 6 would be 10, and these are 6. So 10, 6 minus, I'm going to rewrite the 5, 6. 10, 6 minus 5, 6 is our 5, 6, okay? And then go to our whole numbers. Our last step is 2 minus 1 would be 1. If I scooch it over here, our answer is 1 and 5, 6. And you can see how we got the same thing with the model. So, okay, guys, hopefully that was helpful today, and we will see you on the next one.